ideas and turn it into a cultural phenomenon, a movie that outgrossed the Mario movie and got a Best Picture Oscar nomination. The Lego Movie is a similar situation. There's no narrative and no characters, just a total blank slate that allowed talented filmmakers to create something new on top of that. Or what about Peter Berg's 2012 adaptation of Battleship? Remember that?
No.
No? Didn't, Rihanna fight aliens in it?
I don't know.
Anyway, Mario is not
care.
quite the blank slate that those are. Here,
It's
there
a Battleship
is a narrative,
adaptation.
and there are characters. They're just incredibly thin. But as faithful as the 2023 Mario is to the look of the game and the general narrative of the game, while it is theoretically on one end of the Super Mario Super spectrum, my question is it actually a good adaptation? As we've established, Mario is designed to be played, not watched. No one's favorite part of Mario is sitting there while your sibling plays Mario 3, even though you're so much better at the game than they are, and they don't even know about the warp whistle in World 1. As Sydney Beatty writes in her essay, The Art of the Game, Issues in Adapting Video Games are, at their core, a series of rules and goals that operate in different ways than film. Rules are meant to complicate a player's experiences while they strive towards their goal. Players must understand the rules intimately, memorize reaction times and interactions to master a game. Mario is much less about any of its characters than it is about timing your jumps and dodging enemy weapons and mastering the gameplay. Sure, the movie has a couple moments where the camera shifts to a wide profile view, giving it the appearance of a side-scrolling game, and there's a training montage where Mario gets better at jumping, so occasionally the movie feels kind of like watching someone play a Mario game, but it makes no real attempt to adapt the experience of actually playing a Mario game yourself. The Lego Movie is a movie literally about how we play with Legos, that is designed to cinematically capture the joy and imagination of being a child and inventing Lego constructions. Barbie faithfully adapts the various iconography from the toys, but it also actively engages with the history and cultural meaning of the brand it's adapting. It looks straight on into the sun, confronting its nature as a palimpsestuous work. I did it. I used the word in a sentence. But Mario doesn't try to do any version of that. It is content to be a 90-minute long cutscene that occasionally reminds you of what it looks like when someone plays the game. Now compare this to something like Edge of Tomorrow, which is not actually based on a video game, but that perfectly captures the experience of playing a really hard video game and dying over and over again as you gradually master the timing needed to get through a level, until you are exhausted and your thumbs hurt and you know it by heart where every single enemy is and how to get through them without dying. At the end of the day, Mario will always be Jumpman. That is his purpose, the Sisyphean task of running forward and jumping, forever and ever until the end of time. There was nothing more to him at the beginning, and there doesn't really need to be. Now, I am open to being proven wrong, but I think that Mario is something that remains fundamentally pointless to adapt into a non-interactive medium. There is nothing really to be gained from it. Beyond, of course, lots and lots of sweet, sweet money. Like truly, so much money. Enough that you could do like a Scrooge McDuck dive into it and just swim through your treasure. Which does seem like a lot of fun. So why do we want film adaptations in the first place? Why do we as a society believe that the ultimate form of any story is to become a movie? Now, I don't want to just proclaim that cinema is the best artistic medium there is, although it is my personal favorite, but it does have certain qualities that others don't. Outside of like VR video games, cinema is the most immersive medium there is, as well as the most literal. When you read a book, you have to exert some effort to read the words. You set the pace, you turn the page. But in a film, you just sit back and let it wash over you. In a book, when something is described, you have to create your own mental image of it. When you watch a play in a theater, The set is an abstract version of a location, and your mind has to fill in the blanks and imagine the world in which this is meant to take place. But in film, it does all the work for you. You see the full cohesive reality. Everything that was simply described in words on the page, now, it's all literally there in front of you. A fully realized world that you can watch as a spectator. Even when you read a comic book with their static panels and speech bubbles telling the story, it's natural to want to see those images move and come to life and hear those voices. It's why even with countless great Batman stories in comic books and on TV, I still keep hoping for the perfect live-action movie adaptation that will capture all of my favorite elements of the source material, because there is something so potentially powerful about cinema as a storytelling medium. What I'm saying is, I get the impulse to turn things into movies, but with video games, I'm not so sure. In the past 25 years, as video game technology has rapidly evolved, games have become more and more like movies. Compared to the early 90s, the narratives in games are a way bigger priority now. They often have real famous movie stars acting in them, and the games periodically stop to just turn into realistically animated movies. But look, the discussion of cinematic video games is way too big a topic to cover here. But maybe later this season, with its own video. Okay, so let's return to that Hutchin quote from earlier. While no medium is inherently good at doing one thing and not another, each medium has different means of expression, and so can aim at certain things better than others. At this point in time, video games can do so many of the things that movies can do. They can have nuanced visual storytelling with quality acting and writing and music and cinematography. But then they also have one major aspect that is unique to them. They're interactive. They place the player in control of the events, as an active participant in the story,
Why did 5
as the one
come?
making choices. Those choices might be where to explore in an open world game, or choices that will change the course of the narrative, like in Mass Effect, or even in a linear game like Mario, simply the choice to move forward. Or, if you're a weirdo, to just repeatedly run off the edge of a cliff and die over and over again. The appeal of quote-unquote cinematic video games like Uncharted or Metal Gear Solid is that it's just like a movie, but you're in it. And so then, when you adapt one of those to film, you're just removing an essential part of the experience. You're changing it from an active experience to a passive one. And now, as we saw with the Uncharted movie, when you strip away the interactive component, all you're left with is a mediocre movie. In the move from one medium to another, you're taking away essential elements, but not replacing them
No!
to cinema.
Why 3?
Unless
Why
something
3?
unique is
Where did
hearing
3
Tom
come
Holland's talk
from?
in his Peter Parker voice again.
Ah, damn it, your fucking pop aggro and multiple link is such
I'm
cocksucking
not saying
bullshit
that all video
now.
game
In
adaptations
all the
are bad.
games, all
Not
the
the case.
time.
There are ones
Pop
like The
aggro
Last
and
of
link
Us
all
or
the
Detective
time.
Pikachu
Way more than it
that
should
have
be.
actually made it work. But I think most of the time, you're just going to end up with a shallower experience. Watching 90 minutes of Mario cutscenes will never
Well,
be
I
as
got a
much
lot
fun
of
as just
glory and stuff. I'll
playing
reset
Exactly.
and go
And
home.
reading
And it was a
about
good
WoW
run. I
never
didn't expect
matched
to
the
die to
post-pounding excitement of
wolves.
seeing-
I don't know why I should die to wolves. So goddamn dumb. Whatever. Fucking dumb. Well, but I had a lot of fun. It was a fun session. I'll get off this game. It got toxic, kind of. I'm sick of the fucking multiple link being goddamn unreasonable in every single fucking game I play. Fucking so annoying. New World is releasing their new season today, and I've been very excited for that. I might take a look at it. I think it probably patched now. Let's go see. Yeah, New World. The update queued. It's 25 gigs. That's insane. 25 gigs. Okay. Well, deaths happen. I'm not too bummed out. If I chop trees for half an hour, I'll easily be able to pay for the pets and the fucking gear I lost and all that. Can't believe it was wolves though, and I had to walk so far to get there. I might be able to get my body back if nobody picks it up. I have no idea where that was, but I know that it was nearby. And I know where I ran from the bandits and stuff. I might be able to get to my corpse, I guess. It's possible. It's a long fucking walk. 1,000 meters. So, I don't know. But yeah, like maybe I'll go back and try and recover that corpse. I mean, that's fine. And then the only real loss is the wolf, and that's okay. It was 50 gold gone in an instant, pretty much. They're like, I like this game a lot, but it needs so much improvement before it would be truly good. The multiple link is just goddamn unacceptable, and the way they attack and all this is just dumb. Fucking wolves. It's performing better. Uh, yeah, I'll just walk to the fucking corpse again. I could take a horse over there, I suppose. It would be faster. But I also don't have the money to make a withdrawal. I will try to go get around the mountain to the Belbis again. I suppose it's possible I'll find my corpse. It's unlikely, but I mean, I do want to try. I guess it's far. It's fucking far, and I'm already kind of fucking up here. I can't go the mountain way. Gotta take the road all the way over. So annoying. It's a slow game, and I like it. I like how it feels like a Rust alternative, but I've suddenly like cooled to it, which is annoying. Like, I don't know. It's good, but it's hard to focus on it. It has a lot of failure. There's a lot of problems with it. It bothers me a lot, kind of. Yeah, you just go fight them for a while. That's fine by me. I need to sit. I'm hurt. But maybe I can get my body. It'll be nice and shiny and red in that area if I can get the spear. I don't know. We'll see.
Seeing Tom Hardy talk on the phone while driving for 85 minutes.
Tom Hardy drives a car for 85 minutes?
Sure.
And that's okay. Whether an adaptation takes big swings or doesn't...
Like I don't really understand what Locke is. What is Locke? Like, it's Tom Hardy in a car for 85 minutes? Sounds terrible. Why won't you load? Fucking load, piece of shit. Let's go. Fucking YouTube. What's this? No, get on the gladiator. Well, I'm back up again. Both in money and XP. I keep dying, but I mean, I keep making money too. There's a lot more this time. I've got a lot more money this time. I have like 50k on me right here. It's good. It's a good day's haul. Must be a farming Sahagan or something. I'm gonna kill him. I'm going to sit. Yes. Let's take a look at what Locke is. Is it really Tom Hardy? What is going on with Starfield? Okay, that's good. I want to see that. I want to hear about Locke review, though. What is, like, review, right? Why can't you seem to get this? Nine years ago. Locke is a movie from 9 years ago. The moral of the story. Film analysis. It's 5 minutes long, 6 minutes long. Sure, we'll take a look at a Locke movie review.
Tom Hardy.
Thank you, Patrick H. Willems, for the excellent content for my stream. I've liked to sub to your channel. Thank you, Chris Stuckman. I've liked to sub to your channel. I've subscribed.
A phone and a car.
What?
It's our movie.
Oh no! Really?
Locke stars Tom Hardy and is directed by Stephen Knight. In this film, Tom Hardy plays a guy in a car with a phone and a problem. And that's our film.
That's it? That's the entire thing?
Which I will not spoil for you because I find it much more intriguing to be able to sit down and watch this movie without knowing what's going to happen, without understanding why he is so nervous. Because as you watch the film play out, as he has these conversations on the phone with people, you begin to learn what the problem is. And once that is apparent, this film takes on a whole nother level of awesome.
Oh, I beat him. Nice.
This movie is incredibly well acted and very well written. This movie literally takes place entirely in one car, and it's only Tom
How
Hardy
could it possibly
having phone
do this?
conversations with people. Sounds pretty boring, right?
No, I guess you could. I could say if it relies entirely on the thriller story, and it pulls it off. I've seen weirder movies. Like I remember one where Jake Gyllenhaal plays a 911 operator, and I don't believe the movie consists almost entirely of him sitting at his desk. That's what this reminds me of, kind of. It's him sitting at his desk, trying to figure out who's kidnapped his wife or something. I forget what the storyline is. It's been a couple of months since I've seen it. But yeah, like, and it was good. It was really good. It was genuinely fucking good. But it was also just him sitting in the 911 operators room for like at least 45 minutes, I think, or something like that. And it was just him answering phone calls. And that was okay, because I mean, it was a 911 operator answering a phone call, you know. It was good. But it was just odd. It was an odd choice, and that's what this kind of reminds me of. And I wonder if they do this stuff on purpose. My God, look at the fucking girl repellent. I mean, okay.
Well, it's not. It's actually pretty freaking amazing. I was riveted from scene one in this movie, largely because of Tom Hardy's excellent Oscar-worthy performance. His accent in this film is sort of like this Welsh thing that he's got going on, but it's very, very awesome, and you really start to understand why he chose that accent, because I watched the Q&A that took place after I saw the screening of this film with Tom Hardy, and one of the things he said was he wanted to have an accent that gave his character like this immensely calming vibe, because the large majority of the film is him very nervous and very anxious, and he wanted to have the contrast of sounding as if he was actually very calm the entire time, and that was an amazing choice.
He probably knocked it out of the park, I
film,
guess.
You basically are watching a man degrade. You're watching 90 minutes of a man's life go from nice and peaceful to absolutely chaotic. And as you watch this progression, and you watch Tom Hardy's progression as an actor transform himself into this person, it's mesmerizing. And when I learned about how they shot it, they basically shot the film over a few nights. They did the entire film in a take or two, and then they would change the angle and do the entire film again, and they pieced these various scenes together. That gives the film a very in-the-moment feel. It almost feels as if you're watching a play. And that's another really cool strength about this movie, is that it does feel very realistic. It doesn't feel as if it's set up. It doesn't feel faked. It all feels very much in the moment, as if you are watching real events take place. Not just because of the acting, but the script. Because to have a film all
Script's
in one
good,
location,
huh?
to have an 80 to 90 minute
Deviate one
runtime, to
ice.
take place only inside a car and only with conversation.
Shit, maybe I should watch this and maybe it's good, huh? Locke? I mean, it's proof that you can just put a dude in a car and have him answer a phone, huh? Okay.
That script has
Usually when I think Hollywood, that sounds to me like a TV movie. Usually when I think Hollywood, I think like effects and a fight and, you know, story resolution and stuff. Not some dude answering phone calls. Even if they are dramatic phone calls that totally fuck your mind or whatever. It still sounds lazy to me. It still sort of sounds lazy.
to be so good, and it was. Now, I can't see this movie being rewatched
Really?
many times.
It
I don't think it
was?
has the rewatchability of other films that take place all in one
No.
location, such as 12 Angry Men, which is one of the best, if not the best film that takes place all in one location. This film does not have that rewatchability, but when you are in the
12
moment,
Angry
it is
Men is
endlessly
super good.
compelling. I found Locke to be a very well-made film with a
Really?
terrific lead performance by Tom Hardy.
I did not
Very
expect
awesome
that.
script
I
and
thought he was-
characters on the phone that
I
felt
thought he was gonna say it was gonna fucking suck. I frankly did. I was like, wow. Not that I doubt Tom Hardy. It's that. I mean, how could that premise be that good? But I mean, I guess that they apparently they weren't fucking around, huh? Although I don't know if I trust this guy's opinion about movies. But I mean, yeah, cool.
just as real as he did, despite the fact that you never actually
There's
see
the
them.
wolves.
I don't want to spoil what the problem
There's my
is that
bag.
he's dealing with, because when you watch the film and you're able to experience it for yourself in that way, it'll be so much more interesting to you than if I had just told you right now. I'm going to give Locke an
Oh, no.
A-. I think that it is a
Oh, no.
very great film for the film it's trying to be, but I don't really think it has the rewatchability that it could have if it expounded a little
I have to
bit
get the
more
spear.
upon its location and used the claustrophobia of the
no.
car slightly more to its benefit. Guys, if you see this movie, and I strongly suggest that you do, let me know what you thought of it below, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this, you can click right
Oh
here.
no, come on. Fucking wolves. See, this shit isn't worth it, you know?
Yoda. There's all.
So guys, I want to let you know that my Audible promotion is
The hell was that sound? That was... Oh, that was his music? Where's that sound? I love that sound. Boom, boom, boom. It's the beginning of... It's the beginning of bad lip reading.
so guys,
That's the beginning of bad lip reading. Why did he play that? Seems odd. Why did he steal bad lip reading's fucking intro? That seems derivative. God damn fucking wolves. There's just no way that this is worth it. I mean, there's no way. All this walking, there's no fucking way this is worth it. Maybe there's a priest here somewhere. Why is that all red? They're just plants, I guess? Why is this all red? What the hell is this? What? It's a spirit. What do you mean? Spirits. Weird. What the hell? See, this game, it needs, like, a lot of work. It can't have this kind of pop aggro. The mobs are way too intense to get more than 2 of them in a single place. Why did you put 5 wolves in one place? That's ridiculous. Even a 2 or 3 man could possibly die from that. Why would you fucking design like that? I find it offensive a little bit. Your shortcomings are very pronounced. It's annoying. I was hoping to maybe see a priest around here at one of these buildings, but I don't fucking think so. And yeah, you kind of lost me on this. I didn't lose that much money. I lost like 60 gold. That's like half an hour chopping wood or something. It's not that bad. But it was kind of a fail session. And it went from really good and getting a kill to like sort of fumbling around and getting banged by stupid ass PvE that I can't do anything about. And it ended kind of toxic, frankly. I'm gonna get off this game. See how the New World update's going. Almost done. Damn, you're working at 267. That's fucking huge.
Always the original you fell in love with to take comfort in. You know what?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was watching the Lock review. Let's see what else he had to say.
I want to let you know that my Audible promotion is still running. That is.
See, I don't think he has that much good taste. It looks like he really likes Catching Fire. While I think those are good movies, I don't think they were not my movies. There's a lot of bad taste in anime here and bad taste in the Zelda stuff. Maybe he's not that good of a reviewer. I don't know.
The promotion in which you guys can get a free audiobook of your own through me from Audible as a thank you to you guys for being so awesome. If you like,
some of these posters suck, but I mean they're all really valuable posters, I think, though.
To read as much as I do and you're always on the go, you can download a book straight to your tablet or your phone or to your computer. You can listen to it in your headphones, on an airplane, on a bus, on a train, on your bicycle, while you jog, wherever you go. You can go to audible.com/Chris. That's audible.com/Chris.
It was good. I don't really want your ads, though. I mean,
author. I strongly suggest you guys checking that out because it is a really cool thing.
Okay, so there's Locke. Good to know. Here's Lone Vault Wanderer. Thank you for the extra content. I'd like to sub to your channel.
All right. Today, I'd like to talk about Starfield and to try and answer the question, what is going on with the game? I really do try my best to talk as often as I can about Starfield on this channel, especially now that I'm doing YouTube full time. It's only in my favor to do so. More videos is of course going to mean more views for me. However, if you look at my recent slate of uploads, you won't see that many new Starfield videos in there, and that's not because of a lack of trying, it's because there's not much new to talk about when it comes to this game. Whether it is an announcement, an article, or even an interview or two, it's been pretty slim pickings for us as of late. So
I think what I was looking for in this game was the taming, and yeah, you could run around and waste a lot of time doing the fighting and taming in this game, but I don't really see what the reward would be. Like, at all. I don't really see what it would be. There's a lot of fundamental problems with it. It's so annoying. Like, there's not enough of a core gameplay loop. The crafting's cool, and I like the combat. But the game didn't have the world that Rust does. It doesn't have the open-ended like world that Rust has. It's so annoying. This is a lot more scripted and a lot more one and the same. The hell was that? Why would I hear somebody rezzing right here? That seems so weird to me. Anyways, so this was fun, but yeah, I'm back to the drawing board. I'll have to get a whole new set, and I'll have to blow like all my money on that, which is, well, not all my money, but I'll have to buy a new spear, which is stupid, and I have to do all this other stuff that I don't want to do. This seems like busy work to me. I'm just gonna log off this game. It was fun though. It was a great session. But until the busy work kind of came, and the fact that your multiple link is sort of needlessly punitive, and this is one of the things about these developers that I hate the most, is their stupid shit around needlessly punitive fucking link and fucking stupid shit. I've been complaining about it a lot with this game, for instance, and even EvE. There's all this pop and aggro and fucking link all the time, and I'm just like, why? This shit was not, it was not necessary. It's never been necessary to put a whole bunch of mobs all at once. It's just never been necessary. That's not how the combat is. Your system doesn't really support it. It works for stuff like New World, sort of, but it's not really, it's not really that good. Anyways, that was a fun Mortal session. New World is patching. It's about halfway. It'll be good to see Season 5. I've currently been at this. I feel rather tired, like I'm ready to go to bed, I think. I've been at this for 12.5 hours. I suppose I could go for another hour and a half and take a look at New World's Slayer script change, because I'm curious to see what it looks like. You know, I wouldn't mind continuing my Iron Man character, because that was fun. It was fun. I don't want to die. But it made the game fun, I would say. Wait, did I aggro through the floor? I hope not. No.
I think it's absolutely warranted at this stage to have this discussion. What is going on with the game? What is the update when it comes to new content and DLC and shattered space and mod support? And
Yeah, what happened with Shattered Space?
new features that BGS said were still coming to the game this year, like
New features to Starfield, like what?
with city maps and new ways of traveling and stuff like that.
City maps and new modes of travel. Why? There's nowhere to go.
So that is the question we're going to try and tackle in today's video. I'm genuinely interested to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video and you find it helpful, please like, subscribe if you're new, with notifications if that's possible. But let's start off looking at Starfield's previous update. So Starfield's previous update went into Steam beta on the 6th of March, and then it had its full release on the 19th of March, so almost 2 weeks after the fact. And if you look at that update, by and large, like with every update for Starfield since the launch of the game, by and large, it was about bug fixes. That has been the consistent theme for all of Starfield's updates. They've mostly been about bug fixes. Now, there have been some new features here and there, especially when you look at that last update. They added an improvement to photo mode, where you can set expressions and poses for your character in photo mode and your companions as well. And there have been quality of life improvements, changes and improvements to the PC settings menu and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So there absolutely have been new features, but by and large, it's absolutely mostly been about bug fixes. And
Did they fix
Bethesda Game Studios for that, mind you?
RT?
If you look at my previous
did they
videos, and I'll
fix
say it again right now,
DLSS?
that stuff was absolutely necessary. If you look at the game state at launch, I don't think it was too bad, especially compared to previous launches for BGS.
I lost a
But there were
20-hour
bugs that
save.
needed
What the
to be
fuck are
fixed.
you
There were
talking
absolutely
about?
quest blockers that needed to be addressed, and there were areas where the game's performance could be improved. And it was on Bethesda Game Studios to do that. No one else could do that for them. Like, mods are limited right now because we don't have the full mod kit and stuff like that. So BGS needed to be the ones to
We don't have the full mod kit. You hear him say it? We don't have SKSE. I don't know why anybody isn't talking about it. Like, I don't know why Bethesda killed SKSE, but we don't have the full mod kit, and it's stupid.
do that. And it was important for them to do so, because if people were ever going to come back to the game to try and experience the DLC in Shattered Space, you don't want them to be experiencing the exact same bugs they were experiencing at launch, because that's a bad look. Most people are just going to dash after that. So I said that those bug fixes and those updates were absolutely a priority and very important for Bethesda Game Studios. So it's good. It's very good that they've done so. However, we are now at the stage where we are genuinely asking the question, well, where's the new content, right? Where is the DLC that you long announced for Starfield in the form of Shattered Space? You announced that before the launch of the game. We haven't heard any more information, any new information about Shattered Space since. We don't know if there's going to be any other DLC for the game. We still don't quite know when mod support is coming and stuff like that. So all of us are legitimately asking the question right now, when is this new content going to be releasing for Starfield? So let's look at that. BGS earlier this year did say that Starfield's going to be receiving updates every 6 weeks or so. And to their credit, BGS have absolutely been hitting that cadence. So if you look at the previous update, we should be receiving the next update for Starfield, at least in Steam beta, in a couple of weeks or so. And then the full release to console and to the rest of PC will be after that. Now, some people might be saying, well, maybe that's going to be the DLC. Maybe that's going to be new content or Shattered Space and something like that. I don't think so. If that was going to be new DLC and new content, let alone Shattered Space, we'd absolutely know it by now. BGS would be making much more of a fanfare because that's the big deal, right?
No, I think they're about to cease production on this game. I think we're going to see quite the opposite. I think they're going to totally they're going to make an executive decision to just fuck us on Starfield and move on like Cyberpunk did. And I think they'll just keep making bad games. That's okay.
Playing Starfield because there's not new content to experience. So that's a big announcement, and that's when people are going to be coming back to the game. So absolutely the marketing machine at BGS and Bethesda is going to be behind that announcement. I don't think out of nowhere they're just going to shadow drop Shattered Space, even if it's a Steam beta. There's no way that they're doing that. And I could eat my words, I could be wrong about that. But I think if Shattered Space is coming, we're going to know about that weeks out in advance. So my best guess is that the next update is going to be mostly about bug fixes. And maybe not even as big as the previous bug fix update, because that one was pretty big when it comes to bug fixes. Hundreds of them. But I still think it's mostly going to be about bug fixes, and maybe we receive, city maps. Maybe we receive save file thumbnails, which is what I've been talking about for a while. Maybe we get 1 or 2 big features that they've said are coming to the game. But I don't think it's going to be Shattered Space. I don't think it's going to be DLC. So why do things feel so slow? When it comes to updates for Starfield, it's been a big talking point recently things just feel slow when it comes to new content and new updates and stuff like that.
50%.
So let's look at that. Now, Starfield, as we know, launched last year in September. So we're about 7 months or so removed after the launch of the game. And it feels like, and I feel like a lot of people feel this way, but it feels like we probably should have received new content by now, right? Because if you look at Fallout 4's DLC cadence, it was much, much faster. And I only noted this and realized this when a viewer pointed it out on a previous video of mine. So I want to break this down for you because it's quite a stark difference when you compare it to BGS's next big game. We're going to exclude 76 for a bit, but when you compare Fallout 4 to their next big single player game in the form of Starfield, it's quite a stark difference. So Fallout 4 was released on the 10th of November 2015, right? Now, Fallout 4 had a number of different updates for the game. The first one was Automatron. That was their first add-on. And that was released on the 22nd of March 2016. So about 4 months or so after the launch of the game. The next update was Wasteland Workshop, and that was released on the 12th of April 2016, so 5 months after launch. Then you had Far Harbor, which was their first really big piece of DLC content and story content for the game. That was released on the 19th of May 2016, so just over 6 months after the launch of the game. Contraptions was then released on the 21st of June 2016, so about 7 months or so after the launch of Fallout 4. Vault-Tec Workshop was released on the 26th of July 2016, and the Nuka World was finally released on the 29th of August 2016. So when you look at Fallout 4 and how quickly or frequently it released, or it had, updates come to the game when it comes to DLC and new story content and stuff like that, by this stage, with Fallout 4, just over 7 months removed from the launch of the game, we already had Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, and Far Harbor. And we were just about to receive Contraptions, right? That's what we had already received over 7 months after the launch of Fallout.
Fallout 4 was good.
Whereas with Starfield, we have not received one piece of DLC content in terms of stories and quest lines. It's all been about bug fixes. So that is a big reason why it's felt very slow for Starfield, because their last previous big single player game was Fallout 4, and we received so many more updates for that game much more quickly. So that's the first reason. The second reason as to why things feel a little bit slow for Starfield is that BGS's communication style is quite slow. It's been one of the criticisms, as much as I love BGS and I did like Starfield, and I'll continue to talk about the game, but one of the criticisms that many people, including myself, have had with BGS's communication style is that they don't talk that often, right? They don't really talk to us about their games and development all that often. Outside of random tweets here and there, we don't really hear from them unless it's time for an update or a Steam beta patch or something like that. And I would also say as well, they probably announced Shattered Space too early. Some people would also use Elder Scrolls 6 as an example here. They talked about that game too early. I think the situation for that game was quite different. But with Shattered Space, they announced that before the release of the game, the launch of the game. And since we haven't heard about it since, and we don't hear from them that often when it comes to official updates for Starfield, that's why it feels so slow. And then when you compare that to Fallout 4, only 3 months after the launch of that game, they did this big announcement where they released a DLC roadmap for the game that included Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, and Far Harbor as part of that. So that's also why I mentioned that maybe they announced Shattered Space too early, because we've been waiting on it since the launch of the game pretty much, whereas with Fallout 4, we were happy to wait because we were playing the game, and then 3 months after the launch, they're like, hey, here's the DLC, here's what's going to be coming to the game, this is going to be releasing in the coming months. I think all those reasons combined is probably why Starfield has felt very, very slow when it comes to new updates, when it comes to communication and stuff like that. So I definitely think there are lessons to be learnt on BGS's side moving forward when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5, and indeed all of their future projects. I think they need to pace this stuff a little bit better. But I think one of the big reasons as well as to why we haven't received any big content updates for Starfield, it's not just because they're taking their time with it. I absolutely believe that's the case. But I also think that Fallout 4 Next Gen is taking a big chunk of their resources. We know that Fallout 4 is getting its Next Gen update sometime this year. It was meant to be last week.
Fallout 4 is taking up all of their time again. Why are you remastering Fallout 4? It came out in the last 10 years. Why are you remastering something that came out in the last 10 years and is doing fine? But I mean, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess I like that you're doing it, but I mean that client, it better work well with others. I mean, you better make that client. Yeah, I think Bethesda's realized that none of their clients will work well with others. None of them, and I think so. They're gonna make Fallout 4 their go-to single-player client, I guess, which is sort of odd. Like Skyrim itself does not play well with others. It's not that good. But I really want damage numbers. It's fucking annoying. Did Starfield have damage numbers? I can't remember.
This year. And I've always suspected that they're going to try and tie in the next gen update as closely as possible to the release date of the Fallout TV show. We know that Amazon is going to be doing a Fallout TV show. It's coming out on the 12th of April. I suspect a big chunk of the people at BGS are crunching on that to get the next gen update released as closely as possible to the TV show. And they've probably realized that that task is bigger than they first thought, right? If it wasn't as big as they first thought, we would have received it last year. But because it was delayed and because we have this
they
TV
announced
show,
that like
now with an
18
imminent release
months
date of
ago.
12th of April, I think they probably moved more people from Starfield onto Fallout 4 just to get that out the door, and therefore that's affected the development of DLC and content for Starfield. So that's just my speculation. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But as I mentioned, new content is absolutely needed ASAP.
Yep.
And as I said, bug fixes are good. They're important. They absolutely need to be prioritized. But looking at Fallout 4 and just looking about, how far removed we are from the launch of Starfield, it's over 7 months now. People are absolutely itching for new content, myself included, and I just don't see myself starting a new playthrough of Starfield unless there is new content to experience. So where to from here? As I mentioned, in 2 weeks, we should be getting that Steam beta update. BGS have been consistent when it comes to hitting that 6 weeks cadence. So that's going to be good. As I said, I think this is going to be mostly a bug fix update, maybe 1 or 2 new features here and there. But I do fundamentally believe that as soon as possible, and they need to announce the release date of Shattered Space, right? It might not necessarily be for another
I'm going to pause and make something to eat real quick, guys, while I fight these orcs and stuff, so I'll be right back. Won't take but a second. Yep, nice, got him dead. Good timing. Doing pretty well here. I'm back up again, even past my death XP, which is good. Back up at 16k, which is about where I started at. And so that's good. I'm making progress, and I have a whole fucking inventory full of like that, auction house loot, which is good. And yeah. Yep, got me about 60k worth of stuff on this run, which is good. I'm beginning to see that the Kraken Club makes farming a lot like faster and easier. Yeah, let's kill some yags. See if we can get some scrolls or something.
2, 3, 4 months, whatever it is, but just tell us when it's coming out so we have something to look forward to. And I know it's a risk every time that you announce something, maybe even a little bit earlier, it could be at risk because you might not hit that date. There could be problems in development and stuff like that. But I still do believe when it comes to Starfield, hype is very quickly dying off for the game. We need something new to sink our teeth into, and that's absolutely an announcement for the DLC. So I think we need a release date.
I'm sorry, buddy, but they can't make this donkey run. That's what I'm gonna say.
for Shattered Space, but even bigger than that, I think BGS need to take a leaf from Fallout 76 and release a DLC roadmap for the game, because yeah, one DLC Shattered Space is good, but is that all we're getting for Starfield? Like, are we getting multiple DLC and multiple pieces of content like
Fuck
Fallout
no.
4 received and all the other games have received? Because if it's just Shattered Space in the space of 7 months, is it going to be another 7 months until the next DLC? Is there even going to be another DLC? Is it just Shattered Space and that's it? I really do believe that this game would benefit from some sort of roadmap. They don't need to talk about the release date for all the other pieces of content that they might have planned. At the very least, it needs to be Shattered Space, but it would be nice to know, yeah, the game's getting this DLC, it's getting this content pack and stuff like that. They don't always need to be quests and story-based and stuff like that. We saw that with Fallout 4, yeah?
Okay, BRB. Korean vegetable dumplings. I'm going to eat them.
But something that we know is coming to the game that's not just Shattered Space, I think is pretty important. But yeah, it needs to happen soon. Starfield definitely needs to get new content soon. There's so many games coming out this year, so much other stuff for people to experience. I worry that the game's kind of hype and attention level from fans is going to slowly dwindle as we keep going on in the weeks and months ahead, and we don't hear about Shattered Space or any kind of release date or other DLC whatsoever. So I think it absolutely needs to happen soon. But probably even before that, we need to know when city maps are coming, we need to know when new ways of traveling are coming, we need to know when mod support is coming. Just give us some sort of roadmap.
I think the reception that Starfield got broke BGS. It just broke them. And now I think they're between a rock and a hard place where it's impossible for them to care about Starfield if we don't care about it.
I think that would be really, really good. But finally, I do want to cover this at the end of the video. I know there's been a lot of negative discussions for Starfield recently, and some people have questioned why I'm still covering the game. I know a lot of YouTubers have stopped covering Starfield, and I've seen big tweets about this recently, because every time someone covers Starfield, it just attracts a lot of negativity and hate. The reason why I'm covering Starfield is because, one, I've always been a Bethesda channel, and I try and cover as many Bethesda topics and news pieces as possible, you know, as the games come out especially and stuff like that. So that's why I'm still covering Starfield. But two, I like the game, you know, I like Starfield, I like BGS,
I do too.
and I want to see Starfield succeed. And that's why at times I can be perceived as being too critical for the game. It's only because I love the game, and I love Bethesda Game Studios, and I want to see them thrive. And that's why maybe I'm too harsh. I don't know, but I'm always going to be covering Starfield so long as there's new content to cover. I'm always going to be covering Bethesda on this channel. Even if it attracts hate or negativity or whatever, that's fine. But anyways, Wastelanders, let me know what you think about this topic in the comments below. And until next time, this has been the Lone Bot Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.
More free over-the-air TV channels are coming to over 100 cities around the United States. Dear God, why? 30 FPS is dead. What does that mean? Here's a Tom Dark. That's always
Local
fun.
YouTubers trying to deplatform me? What's going on here? Okay, so Illymation, I remember as a YouTuber I've heard about a lot. She's like a Tim Tom, the odd ones out type person. This is her channel. She makes videos. Perks of being the fat kid. It's like the odd ones. I mean, you've seen this kind of stuff.
Hi, my name is Alyssa, and for as long as I can remember, I have never been satisfied with the way I looked. I hated how my calves were too wide to fit into the boots that all the other girls had no problem wearing. I hated that squishy part under my chin that stuck out when I smiled on picture day. And I hated shopping for new clothes, even if my current ones no longer fit me. Honestly, especially if my current clothes.
It comes across to me as inane chatter. It's just a girl kind of talking about the sort of... Look at this. It's like Twitter. Look at Tom Dark's like weird website here. Twitch, YouTube. That looks like a Google document, and Mr. Beast.
It's no longer fit me.
So I guess she's making videos about the struggles of being fat as a child, but apparently she tried to deplatform Think Before You Sleep. I've never seen anything like that. Thank you, Wiener King. I guess we'll check out this Think Before You Sleep video.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
I usually don't start videos out like this, but today is a special occasion.
Okay.
Earlier, I found out that someone I made a video on got offended and has started a mass flagging campaign against me to try and get this video taken down. For everyone who is out of the loop, a few days ago, I made a video about a YouTuber who goes by Illymation or Alyssa, where I basically spent 30 minutes saying, I don't like your video, and here's why. A thing that many YouTubers do. I've criticized other YouTubers have criticized me, sometimes we have a little internet battle, those are fun, and by the end of it, everyone moves on with their life after about a week or two. Except Alyssa. Now, because of the urgency of the situation, and considering that my channel is on the line because Alyssa has millions of followers, and she's well connected to a bunch of other powerful YouTubers, I rushed to make a community post.
It's funny. I find a lot of this funny, and I'm struggling not to laugh at her and him, right? Tom Dark is here for a car wreck, though. He won't laugh at all. He's looking for cringe and only cringe, and he's finding it. But he's not going to laugh at it.
About it, just in case I got a channel strike before I got the chance to comment.
Since this video went live, I've been getting hate comment bomb on other vids on my channel as well as on Twitter and Insta. I submitted reports, but it takes a while for a human review at YouTube. I chatted with a help desk person today in the live chat help section, and she was very helpful. Unfortunately, I just have to sit tight. However, if you or anyone else reading this come across this video, please report it for cyberbullying. Was he cyberbullying her? What was he doing? Was he like... What were you saying? Thank you for you said. Were you going crazy? Were you going off the rails? What is cyberbullying considered in the modern age? Making a video about someone?
Hi, my name is Alyssa.
Cyberbullying is when they terrorize you for some reason, or they try to trick you, or they spam your channel with inane AI voices, or they hate rage you, or they threaten your family, or they spam your fucking follows with chat, with inane chat. They stalk you for months on end. They sit in the channel all day long somehow, but they're young, which makes no sense. And it's just weird.
Calorie deficit. Ice cream is gluten-free. Coca-Cola is gluten-free. Lay's potato chips are gluten-free. This is like claiming Oreos are healthy because they're vegan. Are people this easy to trick? If you want to know what's healthy, then you actually need to read the ingredients list, not the marketing information on the front of the package.
According to self.com, diet culture is an entire belief system that associates food with morality and thinness with goodness. And it's rooted in the very colonial belief that every individual has full control and responsibility over their health. That is woke propaganda.
Oh god, please someone tell this girl that
Alright, that video seems cringe already. But I mean, I assume this is just what Think Before You Sleep always does, where you just criticizes someone. I guess this girl got upset because she got some mean comments, but I mean, that's just part of being a YouTuber, so maybe it's her first time getting that. She just had a mental breakdown. Very possible that's what's going on here. To be clear, do not leave a hate comment on her stuff. If you have a negative opinion about her, you can express it in my comment section or in my chat, but do not, I don't want anyone to go to anyone's channel. That's why I have the disclaimer at the beginning of Turkey Tom vids where I say, don't harass anyone mentioned in this video.
Yeah, please do not. Please do not harass this poor girl. She does not seem like she can handle it. I got pissed off when my family was threatened. I filed charges. You know? And I learned that they don't do anything. And I learned that it doesn't, on both sides, both the harassment side and the fucking cops or whatever, both sides of them, neither of them do anything. So, in the end, it took Taylor Swift saying something on the Philip DeFranco show to change it all for me. It was like, she was like, you do not need to fight these shitty crab people. The trash will take itself out. And it has. Which is good. I'll be right back. So I rest assured that they won't do anything on either side and everything's fine. And while it affected me for a bit because I was just angry in general, one of the things I learned was how to be thick-skinned or whatever. I mean, I already knew that already, but my main thing is I didn't want repetition on my channel, which there was a lot of. There was a lot of repeated harassment, and repetition was what it was actually driving me crazy. When that stopped, it got better. And I would say pretty much the only thing this person served to do, among all of them, there's like 6 or 7 people like this. The only thing that these people kind of served to do was like help me understand that I had evolved. Like 5 years ago, if someone had threatened my family, I would have shown up at their fucking house like some kind of assassin or something and sussed it out on my own. 5 years ago, I would have been like that, and I did do things like that. I mean, like anybody who ever threatened me or any problem had a problem, you know? Like, I wouldn't hurt anyone. I've never hurt anybody, but I mean, like, I'm not afraid to go take matters into my own hands. Never have been. So, you know, I'm the kind of person probably to show up at your front door, you know? It's unfortunate, but it is. And I learned that I have evolved beyond that. I've evolved like a thicker skin, and there's just like the only thing that it served to do was show me that I had got stronger and I had evolved and become a better human being. And it was just in far more control of my faculties and my response and my anger and all this other stuff. It served to make me a much stronger human being.
Video. They're an innocent little puppy soul who deserves nothing. Woke propaganda.
If you already read that community post, I gave the gist of
the part where she basically says there's no difference between eating a carrot and a cookie or whatever, pure gold. Did she actually say that? That's really funny. Yeah, I mean, the fat acceptance stuff is just gone way too far, I think, unfortunately. You know, to an extent, there are factors that can influence your diet, like the amount of money you're making or the time you have to prepare food or stuff like that, but I think you should be trying to take the most responsibility for your diet possible if you want to lose weight. And I would certainly say that
I've done great. I don't eat a lot.
On average, I mean, being thin.
In the last 2 days, I've had 2 meals, you know? Like,
is healthier. I mean, obviously not Eugene Cooney.
I drank a lot of beer.
You know, eating healthy and exercise.
Drank a 12-pack of beer.
Further into detail in this video.
I mean, it was
That being
Easter.
said, earlier I received an email from a follower giving a well-detailed description about how Alyssa is trying to get me a channel strike because she didn't like a video that she admits to
Yes,
not.
I didn't watch it. A friend did, though, gave me a rundown. I advise others not watch the video or his channel. Do not engage. Don't give him a single second of watch time or ad revenue. Well, this person's kind of going crazy.
Not even watching. If you didn't watch it, how do you know what's in it?
Did you see this total creep who did a takedown of your fat kid animation? Why is everybody obsessed with calling people a creep if you make fun of someone or like criticize someone? This is something I've noticed on YouTube, this side of YouTube. Like, if you make a video criticizing someone, they're like, this guy is creepy. It's like, what, you posted a public YouTube video and someone responded to you and now that person is a creep, really? Are they really a creep or are you just upset that they criticize you in any regard? Just ignore it. Just ignore it. You have to call them a creep?
Well, a friend of hers told her it was bad. Wait, isn't this the exact kind of research that I criticized her for?
You hear that advice that he says? Just ignore it. Just ignore it. It took Crusader talking about all the people that she had to fight and she was like, the shitheads will drive you crazy. They will just be relentless, and they were so annoying for a while. And like, and it took people warning me, and she was like, just let it go. Don't go chasing them. Don't fight them. Don't threaten them. Don't acknowledge it. Don't talk about it. It took a long time for me. It took a year and a half before I was able to even do that. I did not have that personal power for a long time. I was like, I don't know. It was letting them live in my head, but it was also in the respect that I never did deal with adversity very well. I tended to destroy people if they fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Destroy them. So most of the time I'm thinking about what I shouldn't do, you know, and how bad it just makes me look.
Now, before we go any further, I will say that I began this journey with a bunch of people saying that Alyssa was deleting comments on her Perks of Being the Fat Kid video, and put a pause on the comments section. I understand a lot of people are going to cry.
She has 3 million subs. I don't think she should give a living shit what he thinks. She's got more subs than Tom Dark. This lady has like 3 million subs. I don't think she should give a living shiz what anybody thinks. What's wrong with this haircut? I mean, what? Many people think they're ugly when they're not. They just have bad fashion.
Censorship. But also, I will point out that anytime someone makes a video criticizing a creator, the vast majority of the new comments on said creator's video will say, LOL, you're dumb and I don't like you. While I don't mind if people write comments that include polite and constructive criticism, unfortunately, asking for viewers to be courteous to other creators that I cover on this channel does not actually stop comment brigading.
So why are we looking at? I'm just some YouTube is so weird. Why are we looking at like some fucking church in Holland or something on the river? Hotel Galliner Boom or whatever that says. Like Galliner Room or something. Why are we looking at this really offset picture that makes no sense to any of the context at all?
How many times I've done it in video.
This guy has 830k subs. I don't know what he's doing talking to other fucking like the cattiness on YouTube is straight bitch made. You know what I'm saying? It's straight bitch made. She's got 3 million subs. She's making millions. She's fine. He's got 830k. He's making hundreds of thousands, if not millions. You know what I'm saying? He's doing fine. And I don't know why the fuck they're even talking to each other. They're both doing fine. They're honestly in the same class, kind of. They're even punching at the same level, sort of. And it's weird. I think in the right eyes, you might consider them peers. But I mean, they probably hate each other. They fucking hate each other. And their drama, they're using it to spin people's interest and get money. You know, it's odd. I don't understand watching this guy's channel and not subbing to him.
And it doesn't work when other creators do it either.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You can't...
This is a guy who makes millions a year off these people, and he can't even sub to a creator that he's using for content. And that seems insane to me. It shows the bottom line, like what some of these people actually are like, you know? When it comes down to it, I think they're actually kind of really rude, shitty people, a lot of them. I don't think they give a living shit about like people's numbers or their lives or who they talk shit about or anything. I don't think they care about subbing to anybody. I don't, you know, so odd. That seems so odd as a content provider. To not see that button lit up, that seems so weird to me. And that one, If you're coming to the channel and trying to make money off the dude, using him to spin content, and attack some poor girl who can't handle criticism, right? Like, I don't know.
You can't control your entire audience. Obviously, I don't.
No, fuck no. You can't control your audience at all. That is entirely not up to you. I mean, at least as a streamer. You don't know who the hell is going to show up, and that's good. I like that about this job. It's just like Taxi. You have no idea who's going to show up in your backseat. I fucking love it.
Harass anyone, but sometimes they will, regardless, and there's not much you can do.
Yep.
You're a creep, says Amber, based. But yeah, I mean, there's literally nothing you can do sometimes about that. Like, people are just going to be mean. People are going to be critical.
Unless someone has actually engaged in criminal behavior, I think generally YouTubers don't want their followers filling up another creator's comment section. I also think it's well within a creator's right to block or mute comments on their channel that are essentially harassment and not an actual discussion. However, this comment brigading behavior appears to just be a fact of nature that creators can't control.
I don't really believe in comments on YouTube videos anymore, and I leave them every day, but I also don't believe in them. I ghost a lot. Like, for instance, right now, right now, I have a heart from Frankly Gaming, who I don't know, and I don't know anything about this guy, but he liked that I left a positive comment on his video, and I got a heart or whatever. Now, I immediately ghosted these. What was that sound? Oh, it's the New World finished, I think. Yeah, New World did finish, yeah. So fire it up. Yeah, cool. We're going to finally play some New World. That's cool. I've been waiting for Season 5 for like goddamn 5 weeks or something like that. Fucking annoying. Might start a new character. Just to see the game, because they apparently redid the MSQ again. But I mean, I don't know why they keep doing that. It was bad in the first place. You're never going to make that MSQ good. I don't know. What could you possibly do to make it better? Like, I guess. They redid the starting zone, apparently. I guess there's a whole bunch of hullabaloo about New World, I guess. But I don't really see why they're bothering that stuff. I want to see a major optimization change in this client, and I don't expect that I'm going to see one at all. I think it's going to be the same old crappy game with just a few minor things changed. And that sucks. I've become very pessimistic about New World. I don't really have the faith in developers that I used to. I like AGS though. I won't lie. No, man, actually play the client. You seem to be crashed or something. I don't know, just let it run. Oh no, there it goes. Whatever. I lost my toothpick and it's annoying. Oops, I didn't mean to get up. Oh well. See, they didn't optimize this client. It's got the same old issues it's always had. God damn it. I can hear it and feel it as I'm loading the client that nothing has changed. I mean, what did I expect? They weren't doing like a fucking client update. They really weren't doing that. Yeah, New World sucks at starting. It sucks so bad at starting, and it's weird because the first year it didn't have that issue, but now it just sucks at firing up the client. I don't know why it sucks like that, but it does. Executor, Navy issue, Heavy, Rico, Lucas, Energy, Rico, Lacus, Synasis, Buzzard, Nidhogger. This client is not going to load. You crashed, huh? No, now you're loading. That took forever, you idiot. And I immediately ghosted. Once I realized that I had his attention, I immediately ghosted, because that is not the commitment I want out of my sociality or whatever. The minute some of the stuff bothers me a little bit.
So really, it's on.
I want to show them that I like their videos, but I also don't want to come across as this super eager autistic kid that leaves like a bomb comment that's really loud, that draws a lot of attention. And I do this a lot. I've always done it. I've always dropped bombs on social media and shit like that. I don't give a fuck about that. You know, and it draws attention. I don't like it, and I ghost a lot of the time. I don't know. It does seem like it is running a little better. Loud. I think they reset all my settings, maybe. Nope. Did you reset my controls too? Everything's on high. That's not right, is it? I don't think it is for this game, but I don't remember all the stupid settings now. It's like, oh god, yeah, I don't think I can go like super high like this. I don't know. Maybe advanced graphics. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's go see, I guess. We'll go see what it does. But I think I'll have to turn it down, I think. If I'm going to load the client, I think I better actually do the video right. Oops, what was that? Field of view, you dropped it? No, I wanted a 70. The brightness got turned up, I think, there. So, oh, the brightness is better, yeah. No. Yeah, there. That's good. Okay. So effects is effects particles and volumetric. I like that. Yeah, that's good. That's high. But it should be on medium. Lighting should be on medium. Objects should be on medium. Post-processing should be on very high. Shadows should be on low. Terrain details should be like probably medium. Texture details should be high. Water details should be high. Show emote effects. I don't think so. And dynamic resolution. VSync is on, but I think I want it off. Whoa, you fucking... the hell was that? So, full screen. You want me on... I want you on monitor 2. Not monitor 2. No. I want you to be monitor 1, monitor 3. Yeah, monitor 3, yes. There you go. Yeah, that's good. And so, yeah, and I think that's good. I think we're good on the load. Yeah. Oh, about season 5, yeah. Oh my god, you loaded 4 websites. It's so stupid. 5, 6, you loaded 7.
Especially if you have 800,000 subscribers, I mean, some percentage of those people are probably going to be mean at some point, right? Like, there's literally nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do about that. Yep.
Especially if you're being critical of someone, you know, that's just going to happen.
Yep.
And
be critical of the developers.
Should be banned on YouTube. Is like, just ignore it. If you're a YouTuber with millions of subscribers, the least of your concerns should be a few mean comments.
Yep.
Like, you shouldn't be worried about it. If Think Before You Sleep had been poop maxing, this would have not happened. Yeah, he needs to in his diaper way more. I need a change in my diaper.
To make an interface change that addresses this problem. We already have subscriber-only mode on live chat. I don't see why that feature can't just be added to video comment sections as well. You would be shocked at how many people would lose their interest in saying, LOL, you're dumb, if they had to wait 10 minutes or 24 hours to say it. This would heavily cut down on comment brigading without removing the ability to provide constructive
Your skill has increased.
And without having to full-on censor the comment section. Anyway, Alyssa posted this on Tumblr.
I mean, also, you can just choose not to read the comments. Like, I'm gonna be honest, guys. On the main channel, on the videos, like, I don't usually read the comments. You just can't. Like,
you can't.
There's thousands of people that comment on the videos. Am I supposed to read every one? You know how bad that is for your mental health if you're every negative comment you're just reading and taking in? Like, just protect yourself from that if you're a YouTuber. It's not that hard. Like, just don't do it. If you have like a problem, then I guess just don't make YouTube videos for a little while until you can mentally sort yourself out. But once again, like, I feel like it's such a first world problem to even complain about negative comments on a video. Like, whatever. If you're like expressing a disagreement with the ideas or whatever, and you want to argue with them, I mean, that's one thing. But
Fred starts out with a post
This
saying,
is fine.
"Did you see this total creep who did a takedown of your fat kid animation?" Alyssa responds to
it's
it
on
by
Tumblr. Opinion invalidated.
saying, "Yes, frowny face. I didn't watch it. A friend did, though, and gave me a rundown. I advise others to not watch the video or his channel either. Do not engage. Don't give him a single second of watch time or ad
Wait, oh, I have to
revenue."
select the
Yeah,
world
real
now?
mature. "I'm going to start a mass flagging campaign for a video that I didn't watch, and then tell my followers to not watch it either, because surely they shouldn't be allowed to develop their own opinions on content that is critical of me." Gee, that doesn't sound like a cult at all.
God forbid people on the left explore some of the viewpoints that exist on the right, because that is scary.
You know there are many ways to watch a video without giving it ad revenue, right? For example, you could watch it on my Rumble channel where I basically...
I mean, also, like, your one view is not really gonna hurt him that much, right? Like, or give him that much money. Like, aggregately, a ton of views will give people money, but like one person watching a video is like 10 cents. So I don't know what this person's expecting to stop. Why so spiteful too? Don't give him a single cent. Why not? Is he like not a person? He can't make money on YouTube? What's the problem? Bro sounds like nerd emoji. He does sound like the nerd emoji, which is his greatest crime. Think before you sleep. You need to stop sounding like a nerd, like the nerd emoji. Start sounding like me, okay? Alpha AF.
they re-upload everything for free. The link is in
10
the
cents? Okay, it's not even 10 cents. It's not even 1 cent, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, like, it's such a minuscule amount of money. Like, you shouldn't be that worried.
description. Moving on to what her friend said about the video, because everyone knows that a game of telephone is always the best way to get the most accurate representation of an event. Anyways, finish the entire video. Guy is just dog whistling to misogynist. While that certainly is a completely non-biased and fair assessment of my video, that not only brings up my bad points, but my good points as well, and totally doesn't preempt Alyssa to hate me before any of the video is discussed. Sarcasm aside, may I remind people, like I did in this video here, that while my viewership is mostly male, my female audience is between 15 and 20% on a typical month. If I was just posting radicalized misogyny in every video, then I wouldn't have this many women watching the channel. Now let's continue.
I mean, also just a phenomenon that happens is like, to an extent, men like watching men and women like watching women. I mean, that's not always the case. I'm sure, you know, Drew Gooden or whatever probably has a large female audience, but he also caters to female topics, so that kind of makes sense. But, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with having a large male versus female audience. Like, who cares? Like, is Illumination's audience misandrous because she mostly has a female audience? Like, what does that even mean?
With the completely unbiased assessment from Alyssa's friend. He spends a very high percentage of the video personally attacking Illy's appearance. Well, first of all, the fashion section was less than 10% of the content. It was 2 minutes and 45 seconds of a 37-minute video. Second, you also forgot to mention the part where I began that section highlighting Alyssa's good features to aim people's attention towards, and gave 2 examples of what she looks like when she styles herself correctly, and
Okay, that's
You shouldn't do
I'm
that.
gonna be honest, think before you sleep. I mean, I agree with this assessment.
She
but,
really
like,
shouldn't
styles
have to
herself
give a
correctly.
shit what some
Bruh.
man
She
thinks
styles
about her
herself
appearance.
correctly.
compare that to when she styles herself incorrectly.
It's
The reason I did
tacky.
that is because many people think they're
You did it
ugly
'cause you're
when they
tacky.
actually aren't. They just have bad fashion.
You're tacky
I
as
did a whole
hell.
video about it here discussing multiple
I mean, as long as if
You're
he wasn't calling
tacky.
her ugly the entire video. First of all, even if he was calling her ugly, I wouldn't care. I would be like, it's YouTube, you know, based, whatever. I know it's probably against TOS, intrinsic attributes or whatever, but I don't really care if you want to make fun of someone's appearance. Who gives, you know, part of the game or whatever. But if he
Oh
was-
wow! Look, hey, they finally let me loot my season.
YouTubers
It's been
who
5
look way
seasons,
better
and they
if
finally
just
let
took
me
care
loot
of
my
their
season.
appearance. Alyssa would be just as attractive
Wow.
as all the people she said
I've
she
been waiting
compared
for that
herself
for
to in the
so
Punch Me in the
long.
Fat Kid video. If she just
New
learned
season
good
level
fashion.
1. Okay.
Can we all see why you should watch a video before you rile up a hate mob? When you
hate
hear
mob.
personally attacking Illy's appearance, there are a lot of ways that can be interpreted. Some of them can be cruel and malicious bullying. Others could be, hey, you're actually not ugly, just do these things here and you'll look great.
What?
In order to determine which one it is, you need to investigate further. Alyssa's friend says this next. My judgment is that this guy appeals to the same audience as your Jordan Petersons and Ben Shapiros without any of the qualifications that those two regrettably have. Why would she assume that I'm a fan of Ben Shapiro when I made fun of his sister's terrible fashion recommendations in the very same video? I love how
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
she glossed over that one.
Fucking
But at the end
idiots.
of that image, she's making an appeal to authority argument by saying that Jordan Peterson has a degree in psychology, Ben Shapiro is a lawyer, and I'm not qualified to speak because I'm not a psychologist or a lawyer. Well, for one, we're talking about
Oh, look, the performance is better. Wow.
health and fitness here, and what sort of certifications does
It had to
Alyssa
render,
have
but
in
it
either
is
of those
better.
fields to be
Look,
qualified to
Slayer
talk
is
about
running
them in her
better.
video?
Wow.
Guess
Look.
who does have certifications
This is
in
the
health
best
and
I've ever
fitness?
seen New
Me.
World be.
I don't mention it a lot because constantly talking about your qualifications sounds a lot like insecure bragging, but I did say I was a fitness professional in my reaction to Alyssa, and my personal qualifications are a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, an
Adam 16 and no jumper video. I already made that.
NSCA personal training certificate, and a 200-hour yoga teacher certificate. I also have about 12 years of combined experience in the fitness industry and in sports, and I taught for about 10 of those years. I am very well educated in the field. I constantly learn new information, and it's one of the reasons why my fitness and weight loss videos.
You're right. You're not beating the nerd emoji.
Oh, you did? You reset all my settings?
I, like,
Why
just
is
joined
the
streams
video
minutes
so
ago, an
fucked
Illy
up?
Mation video. I'm a huge Illy fan. I got
Oh
to
no,
get
look
kind
at
of video
that.
over, but she gets sadly
It has a problem with OBS now.
You don't have to stop being a fan of someone because I make a video about them. Like, I'm not gonna police you.
Maybe it's because it's in full screen. Yeah, it probably
entertaining
is.
videos. You can do what you want with that information.
Let's do that. And
It's
then
fine
that,
if you're a
yeah.
fan of her. It's whatever. Who cares? I mean, if she's trying to get people to
There, that's better. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know it was bad.
Pretty stupid.
I fixed it.
I don't know. If your like of someone doesn't depend on whether they clap at people or not, like, I feel like it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Who cares?
Those do so well. It's because my advice actually works and has resulted in many people losing weight. Again, if we all have to have degrees in this stuff, where are Alyssa's qualifications to give health advice to kids? Where's her degree? All she did was talk about how uneducated she is on this subject and starts the video out by saying this.
I started dieting at the age of 11. I looked over at whatever Weight Watching, Jennifer Craig, Fitnessing Pal, MLM, Facebook scam my parents were up to.
Tommy, see about it? About what?
And I copied them.
So she's preempting the video, telling you that she's unqualified. And then she spends the whole video talking about how the advice of the professionals that she chose to listen to didn't lead her to her goals. Anyway, Alyssa's friend goes on to say, blah, 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 cherry-picked, blah, blah, non-academic sources, which is really funny because Alyssa's main sources were a magazine and a fat acceptance advocate. Hell, they didn't even put a person's name on this 20-year-old article.
Are you trusting a fat acceptance advocate for advice on how to lose weight or how to be healthy? I feel like that's bad. Why are people not in agreement yet that being fat is a bad thing? I'm not saying you should, like, relentlessly dehumanize and on people who are fat, but why have we as society walked this back and tried to mentally cope ourselves into thinking that, like, being okay about this situation? Oh, I gotcha. Well, I'm curious if Tommy C has to say. I assume
Why did you erase all my fucking controls?
Why as a society have we walked this back? I made a video about this not that long ago. The fat acceptance meme. Yeah, this video, and it has gone too far. It's kind of distracting to see that somehow I feel like we've made so much progress as a society, but we're still justifying and coping about the fact that people are obese and trying to explain it away. Like being obese in my eyes should be seen as the same thing as like being severely disabled or like not having legs. Like I'm not saying you should relentlessly shit on these people and bully them unless you're being funny on the internet. But what I am saying is that, you know, you shouldn't just accept that and be like, well, whatever, it's fine. Like, it's a debilitating disease, and if you're that big, it's probably a product of mental illness or some kind of maladaptive habits that need to be corrected, obviously.
Meanwhile, I actually gave proper citations that lead you to...
It's easy to become fat and lucrative. Yeah, I mean, there is a big demographic of people out there who want to mentally cope about it, so they like to listen to people on the internet tell them that it's actually okay to be fat, so they don't have to confront the personal problems in their lives and actually improve who they are. It's very dark, but that is the world we live in, unfortunately.
Directly to the source. I actually gave
I work out several hours a day, eat right, and still chubby. Well...
Cycle weapon modifier.
And what do you mean by eat right? What do you mean work out several hours a day? How do you have time to work out several hours a day? Does anyone have time to work out more than like an hour and a half maybe a day? Does anyone have time for that?
I kind of do.
Of the
I'm about
that I was
to.
Quoting, I showed a
When
video
this session
using
ends
indirect calorimetry
in an
to
hour.
display the differences on what
Gonna go out
types
in
of
the sun,
exercises
yeah.
burn the most calories. And I linked
Gonna
a
be a
Noah
nice
Sampson
walk.
video where I go very heavy into the data
I'm gonna walk for at
about
least
why
an hour,
fat
yep.
acceptance is bad. An argument so good that even Noah had to agree with it.
So I must admit that in my prior video, I made a mistake. Well, 2 mistakes. The first mistake was the way that I made one of my arguments. I argued that fat representation in
Weapon
I don't know what this
abilities.
guy
What
talks.
I mean, what is
Nabo, thanks
that?
for becoming a member. And Vincent O'Connor, thank you for gifting a membership. I do appreciate it.
media can help promote healthy habits. This line of argumentation is not great. It's a
Heart
stretch
rhythmability.
because it relies on a lot of correlations. A good chunk of Think Before You Sleep's video covers this flaw in argumentation. So I'm hereby raising a white flag on that argument. I think it's a bad argument.
I'm not sure what a literal professional's well-documented opinion is, but considering that I'm also a certified professional in this field, it's my word against theirs, so welcome to a stalemate. Last, her friend ends off her comments by denying that Aubrey Gordon is a very ideological radical leftist. To which, if you actually read the stuff that I posted on screen during her segments, you could easily see. I didn't just
Enemy
say that without
target
proving
lock.
it. And yes, her politics
there's a
are
target
relevant,
lock?
and so are Alyssa's, because Alyssa loves to abruptly insert her leftist politics into videos for kids.
Another memorable kid I'll call Devin. One day while I was getting snacks ready, this little dude stomped and stormed in. Did not pass the snack table, did not
Enemy
collect the
target
Cheez-Its.
lock.
And that's how I knew something was up. So I sat down with him, but before I could get a word in, he turned to me and said, "Do you know what the most evil thing in the world is? Plastic." And he goes off about littering, landfills, fossil fuels, acid rain, CO2 emissions, our carbon footprint. This little dude just learned about pollution and he was fuming.
I feel like this didn't happen. I'm sorry. I feel like that just didn't. I feel like this is a made up part of the story. I don't know. I kind of don't believe that.
And I love that for him. Because, you know, there are people my age who think global warming is a myth. So I'm here to assure you guys the kids are all right.
Yes, because telling a little kid that the world is being destroyed is completely appropriate and not traumatic at all.
Okay, I mean, is it that big of a deal that she believes in global warming or something? Like, is that really injecting her politics unnecessarily? Think before you sleep. I feel like it's whatever. Like, if I said that global warming exists, people would be like, "Oh, always putting your politics in there." Like, do I really have to argue on that commonly accepted viewpoint? Like, is it that big of a deal to say global warming exists, or tell a child global warming exists?
Does anyone remember that a part of Greta Thunberg's backstory was that learning about climate change?
Is that how you say her name? Thunberg? Greta Thunberg? Thunberg says she first heard about climate change in 2011 when she was 8 years old. You can not understand why so little is being done about it. The situation depressed her, and as a result, at age 11, she stopped talking and eating much and lost 10 kilograms in 2 months. Thunberg struggled with depression for almost 4 years. I mean, this is a compelling argument, maybe to not put this on children, I guess, but I feel like she didn't unnecessarily introduce the subject into the video. As I say her name is some weird Swedish pronunciation. Well, I am Swedophobic, so I will say Thunberg.
Change made her anorexic at 11? Whatever your politics are, we should not be telling young children that the world is ending. By the way, when I say woke left, I don't mean the left in general. I mean the radical left who are pro-cancel culture and have been promoting the very unhealthy message that being 300 pounds does not cause health problems. And second, by the way, it's not like there aren't people on the radical right who are pro-cancel culture. The America First movement is very into cancellation and deplatforming, and I've been very critical of that. And no, I didn't...
Oh my God, I'm surprised. It's funny this is in here because this literally was like a talking point today, because in the Destiny documentary, I questioned Destiny over if he deplatformed Nick Fuentes back in the day. And this is a talking point, and like Nick reacted to it, and then Destiny reacted to Nick's reaction.
What? But people are very quick to just be like, "Oh, he's a Nazi," and then they're just like done. And
but then you cut him off.
What?
You cut him, like you wouldn't do content with him now.
I'm trying to think. The current reason I've listened on Blacklist because he does the crazy aggressive deplatforming. Like the Griper people will spam report people if they don't like you, which I think is hypocritical and annoying.
Haven't you done that a little bit?
I've
seen some old video of you reporting Nick's Twitch getting him banned.
Who? Did that ever happen?
On stream.
Oh, dude,
this was like
it's so crazy. Well, I'm trying to remember the current reason I blacklisted him. Oh yeah, it's because they report people like crazy. Oh.
This just became a talking point today, so I'm surprised that this came up this way. Yeah. Surprised that Nick came up in this video. He's inescapable, apparently.
Just assume that Aubrey was 300 pounds.
You inappropriately touched Destiny? I'd say all the touching was appropriate.
I showed her saying it in an article. Anyway, Alyssa goes on to say that she reported me to YouTube and is waiting for a human to review my video. She also chatted with the help desk person, and really put a lot of her time and energy into trying to get me.
I mean, there are little problems I have with this Think Before You Sleep video, but overall, whatever he says, well, is incomparable to the fact that Illymation decided to encourage people to mass flag his video, and also personally talk to a YouTube representative to try and get him banned. That's crazy. That's like kind of insane, no? I feel like we need more pushback on deplatformers these days. Don't harass her or anything, but I feel like people just need to, because for people sometimes just don't get it and they want to deplatform people no matter what. And I think these people need to be publicly shamed into having the perspective that if they do it, they will be publicly shamed, and as a result, they shouldn't encourage deplatforming. I guess the only way to go about it. There should just be a common consensus on YouTube that you can say whatever you want, you shouldn't be deplatformed. This wasn't even a thing we used to do back in the day, back in like 2015 to 18, like deplatforming wasn't even a discussion. We weren't talking about getting people's channel banned, unless they were like, you know, I mean, if you're convicted of, I don't really feel bad for your favorite channel banned, but even at that, it's kind of a slippery slope, just because I feel like YouTube shouldn't be weighing in on legal matters, unless they think that person is a direct danger to users on the platform, which, I mean, you could make the case that they are if they're grooming or something like that, but I personally, in most cases would be against deplatforming almost anyone. Even if there's a conviction, like, I don't know. I just feel like YouTube as a platform, the less involvement they have, the better in these situations, you know? The platform is relatively new. I mean, not really, but I feel like there's been a big wave in the past 6 years or so.
Be deplatformed when really she should be busy enjoying her vacation in Japan.
I remember people deplatforming with the Atheism Plus days in 2012 as misinformation. I mean, you're right. This is the thing. It has existed forever, but it comes and goes in waves. The common consensus in YouTube culture was deplatforming is bad, like 7 years ago, and then it kind of came back. And I feel like we're getting to a point now, probably people are pushing back on deplatforming in general, which I think is pretty good. I think that's a good development in the progression of the YouTube culture. I'm quite satisfied with that.
Has no one ever reacted to her content before? Wait like a week, and everyone will forget about it. In fact, if you said nothing, everyone would have forgotten about it by the time you got back from your trip. Last, Alyssa gives a call to action to her followers by saying, however, if you or anyone else reading this comes across this video, please report it for cyberbullying.
It's playing well with others. It's playing better than it used to.
Hopefully with enough reports from different people, it'll get taken care of sooner. And please do not send hate to him. It will only make things worse. I just want this to be over.
But it's over as soon as it's over inside your head. Like, just ignore it. It doesn't really matter. If you want it to be over, just like, don't acknowledge it or respond to it. I mean, I think if somebody criticizes your video and says you're spreading misinformation, it can be good to respond if you want to dispel the allegations. But if you don't care to do that, then you also simultaneously should not care to mass report them. That's crazy.
I love that last part. Make sure you don't harass him. Just mass flag his channel. Alyssa, I'll take hate comments all day before I take a channel strike. If I don't like comments, I can just mute them. By the way, considering her behavior, I think the only reason that she asked her followers to not send hate comments is probably because she doesn't want to make things worse by making people aware that she's mass flagging me. I hate to break it to you, Alyssa, but when you have a channel that has hundreds of thousands of viewers, people make you aware of everything. Even when someone tries to hide a targeted harassment campaign by posting it on Tumblr instead of Twitter or YouTube, where people would actually be able to criticize the evil thing that you're doing. And
That's
then
why I don't know why people complain about getting banned. It's a private company. If you hate capitalism, say so. I mean, I don't hate capitalism, but this is not just a simple private company, is the obvious argument. Like, YouTube is not like a store. If YouTube was like a little store you could walk into, then I would support their right to ban people no matter what. But YouTube is like the largest and really the only feasible publishing platform in the world where you can post where you can post video content and make money. Yes, there are little alternatives like Rumble or whatever. And would I want to like have the government infringe on YouTube's right to do so? Probably not. Like, probably wouldn't be good, because I want YouTube to be able to do what they do independent of the government. But I would encourage a culture on YouTube where we don't deplatform people and ban them, because, once again, like, it's more of a public square, it's more of a public utility than anything. Like, I feel like most people should have a right to post content on YouTube, you know? Like, YouTube is a monopoly. It's not as simple as, like, oh, they're a private business. Like, yes, they're a private business, but that argument doesn't really work for me when the private business is so insurmountably large that there's no alternative no matter what. It's not like, oh, you get banned from this store, you can go to the store down the street. It's like, there's one store and everyone has to use it, and if you don't use it, you make either no money or way less money than you make anywhere else. But I'm sympathetic with YouTube sometimes banning people as well, because, you know, obviously their main goal is to make money and keep advertisers, and if they feel like somebody's a risk to that, then they're gonna get rid of them. So, you know, at the same time, I'm somewhat sympathetic to their argument, but in general, I don't like deplatforming, I'd say.
she says, I just
Nobody makes money on Rumble. I've been there for 3 years and made $7 total. Well, it depends on how many views you're getting. It also depends on, you know, if you're on Rumble getting donations, you can make a decent amount of money. I bet Sneako's making okay money on Rumble, but I don't think it's from ad revenue. You know, that's what I would say is going on there.
want this to be over. Well, by playing
you literally. If they want Section 230 immunity, then they shouldn't be able to censor people.
I should move this to my
Isn't
SSD.
Section 230 mostly based around copyright stuff, though? Or actually, no, that is content stuff, too. That is, like, lawsuits based on what people post there. So, yeah, I would agree. But they will censor people regardless. That's the world we live in.
Dirty and attacking my channel and my livelihood, you did the exact thing that will make this not over. Now I have to respond because if I don't, I could lose my channel and the 80 to 100 hours that I spent on that video. If you simply...
This is sort of the Streisand effect where you want to hide something and then it ends up getting bigger than you could have ever imagined and it just backfires on you. Good job, Nation. It was a genius move you just did there.
Simply did nothing, Alyssa. You had about 4 more days before everyone forgot about you. Speaking of YouTube rules, and as someone who regularly reads them, I know that my video doesn't break any of them in the hate speech policy or the harassment and cyberbullying policy. Here's the fun part. Do you know what's actually in violation of YouTube's bullying and harassment rules? This Tumblr post. Maybe that's also why she tried to secretly post it, because she knows if she posted it on Twitter or YouTube, people could report her for it. Oh God. Originally, I was just going to talk about Alyssa telling her followers to mass flag my channel, but since Alyssa is hell-bent on spreading as much wrong information about health as she possibly can, I feel obligated to comment on an archived post that I was sent. Remember that Alyssa has no background education or any qualifications in this. Well, here she is yet again trying to gaslight people about how many health problems obesity causes, and also conflates obesity with people who are underweight to try to make it seem less bad. First of all, let's remove obesity from the table. If we're just talking about severe obesity, more than 5.5 times more people suffer from that than people suffer from being underweight. This long rant of Alyssa's is so full of wrong information and poor analysis
It's
that I could easily
performing
spend
much
a whole
better.
video on it. I'm not going to go over every point, but I will do a little speed run through each section by also mentioning that Alyssa points out that you can't determine if people are dying of heart disease because of obesity, because there are other factors that cause heart disease, like lack of exercise, smoking, and alcohol addiction. While that is true...
Well, I wonder what led that person to be overweight, though. I feel like I don't need to go through the rest of this video. I basically know the gist of it. To be honest, I don't really care about the weight stuff.
They changed
Achieve
wall?
about 5,000 calories in 2 meals, max, and had a chocolate shake hell or 2 magazines.
did. They
study when you don't
changed
know half
how
the language
wall
being
looks
used.
for some
That's like
reason.
saying that you're fluent in a foreign
I feel like I didn't need to watch him prove that obesity is bad.
language just because some of the words are similar and because they use the same numbers as English. I mean, holy shit, Alyssa. I am begging you to stop giving people health advice, and please stop promoting fast food to kids and giving it social proof.
Ultra-processed food is produced by a food system.
You guys sound so dumb. You sound like Twitter hashtags. Living Twitter hashtags.
Stick to making videos about Animal Crossing and sharing My Little Pony fan art. You aren't qualified to talk about this stuff. Anyway, that was my speed run through Alyssa's New Year's Eve rant. I know it was a lot, but I assure you that I still didn't cover everything, and that was the quick version. Getting back to the mass flagging campaign that Alyssa started against me, let me be clear. She only cares about my video because it contains criticism against...
To be honest, I don't think his video is going to go down. I don't think that's even going to happen. I mean, if it's not already down. If you actually watch the video, there's clearly no...
Quoting a
I guess I
magazine
haven't seen it all
article...
the way through, but I've seen enough Think Before You Sleep videos to say that he probably didn't go completely off the rails in this one and just start calling her, I don't know, or something. Or like being like, you fatty, so lose weight. I doubt the video is even going to go down if I had to guess.
She doesn't actually care about real bullying and harassing, or even harsh critique. Well, obviously she doesn't care about bullying because she'll openly
Ooh,
call
they
her followers
improved
to
the
harass
chess
a much
setting.
smaller creator that has
Nice.
1/3 of her following. But allow me to remind everyone of this thing that Ludwig said a while back when he responded to a video of mine.
I had a problem when I was young where I had a squeaker voice, and I would talk and I would get roasted because of my squeaker voice. It's like an intrinsic quality about me, and not because I am dog at the video game. I'm cool with people being mean because I am bad or do something dumb. I'm not cool with people being mean because I have a trait that I cannot change about myself.
He said that in response to a video that I made about video game activists using hate speech to cancel all forms of criticism, not just gendered insults or things that you can't change like he was arguing.
Why do people care so much about that? Are you so insecure in yourself that like you're just so mad when people make fun of you and your voice? Like people make fun of my voice, my appearance. My own fans roast me for my haircut all the time. Am I trying to deplatform them? No. Like who cares? Just ignore it. Just like ban the person in chat if it pisses you off that much. You really need to cry about it on YouTube. Isn't that big of a deal?
Ludwig was roughly saying, no one's going to cancel you for saying someone sucks at the game. To which I pointed out in my response that I received a 3-day ban from Apex Legends for merely saying that a teammate of mine...
Like if you're so insecure that you can't stand hate comments on the internet and like it pisses you off so bad, like just don't be on the internet, I guess. Don't be popular on the internet because that's part of the job. And if like the worst aspect of your job is that people make fun of you sometimes, is it really that bad of a job? Do you have it that hard? Does it matter, dude? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares if people are mean to you online? Just ignore it. Or respond to it and make content out of it, you know? Is it that big of a deal, really? You're cry about it.
Sucked at the game. So I don't agree with Ludwig's assessment at all. I
Yep.
think this stuff has always
Hear him
been about
talk. It
removing
took
any
people
criticism.
talking like this for me to understand how to deal with it, but now I do. I don't give a shit.
If I had to guess, it's never been. Like,
I don't care what
she's
they
never had,
think
like, a
or say.
political video made about her. Because if you look at her content, I mean, it's pretty just like safe videos. Like, you know, my thoughts on cats. Like, he was making a call-out video on her thoughts on cats. You know. When she talks about a serious subject, it's obviously more likely someone will respond to her and say something about it, right? And have a problem with it. But maybe she's just a sensitive person in general. I don't really know her that well. I don't know her at all, actually. I just know of her. I know she exists. Why I got an abortion? I guess abortion in air quotes. It wasn't a real abortion. Jesus, though.
Did I make fun of Alyssa's gender? No. Did I make fun of her race? No. Did I ridicule her for attributes of her appearance that she can't change?
Why is the Taj Mahal here? Is she Indian?
No. Did I tell my audience to harass her? No. Yet she still has deemed this as cyberbullying and is leading an actual targeted harassment campaign as an attempt to deplatform me and take away my source of income. Like I said, she doesn't care about harassment. And to further prove that, she was very quick to mention all of her YouTube friends a few months ago in a video about autism.
My boyfriend Kermit is not of the YouTube sphere, although he does enjoy watching and keeping up with certain creators. But never in a million years did he anticipate being in the same room as Hassan, Jax Films, Ian from Smosh, Eddie Burback, Michael Reeves, Lily Pichu, and many others, all at once.
Now, I will say that I think most of Alyssa's videos are fine. I think she gives decent advice on how to deal with an autistic partner. I think it's great that she's trying to destigmatize mental health treatment with videos like this. And I thought that most of the videos that I watched of hers were entertaining and relatable. I mostly just had a problem with her video on fat acceptance. That being said, we can see that she promotes Noah Samson and Hassan, and at least her boyfriend is a fan of them. The fact that she associates with Hassan yet flips out over light criticism from me is really funny. Because you know how I'll take time to say good things about a person, argue their points fairly by bringing up their good arguments, and make sure to not poke fun at the things that they can't change? Well, Hassan does none of that. He's spent hours reacting to my videos over the past 2 years, basically calling me every name in the book.
Dude, shut the f up, you stupid, cringe, weirdo nerd, dude. How are you like a 14-year-old pasty little cell on the internet and I make fun of like pasty little skin cells? You are just a dude.
Hassan is well known for the type of behavior that you would consider harassment, so don't try feigning ignorance, especially if your boyfriend is a fan. You have to have seen him do this stuff.
But I mean, obviously, Illymation is cool with Hassan Piker because, you know, he's the base socialist guy and he's mean to the right people. But if you're mean to the wrong people, that's bad, right? But Hassan would probably be like, oh yeah, get that chud deplatform. That's good. That's what he would say about this.
Friend is a fan. You have to have seen him do this stuff. Wait, take a look at this moment that I found while I was making the insult compilation.
And plus, you can on women, just not on the virtue of them being a woman. Like, I do it all the time, okay?
Again, it's just like the Ludwig clip. It's not about gendered harassment or making fun of intrinsic traits that someone has. It's about using the term hate speech to move the goalpost every couple of years on what's considered mean, so that eventually any kind of criticism will not be allowed because it offends someone. Hassan said it was fine to make fun of a woman, just as long as it's not on the virtue of them being a woman. Then he said he does it all the time. Now, can Alyssa point to one example where I made fun of her for being a woman, or any intrinsic characteristic
No.
that she can't change? Well, no, because she didn't watch the video, so she has no idea what's in it. But anyone who actually did watch it would know that I only commented on things that she has control over, like research skills, yet she still said I was bullying her, and told people in her massive 2.5 million person following to try and get me deplatformed for a behavior that someone she looks up to or is friends with admits he does all the time. So the claim that this is just about gendered insults or whatever and everything else is fine is completely wrong. Now, Noah isn't as bad as Hassan, but he still says things that Alyssa would very much consider harassment if it was said about her. Here's something he said about me.
Ow, ow. So that's what this video is like. Random stock image, smug, whiny commentary.
He also followed that up with an entire video making fun of my voice with a friend of his. Do I care about that? No. I know what I sound like. But don't kid yourself by thinking that Alyssa wouldn't make a big deal of it if someone did something like that to her. So Alyssa, why do you think it's okay to associate and actively promote these YouTubers when they constantly do things that you think are so wrong?
Well, it's because they criticize the right people, right? It's because it's good to criticize people who are on the right. It's good to criticize people who are mean and, you know, chuds who like Jordan Peterson. But it's bad to criticize and make fun of people who are Illymation. So that's the obvious answer, right? Although it's not like she's thinking about any of this. I mean, as she does this, she's not someone with a consistent worldview. She's just like, someone was mean to me. Deplatform now! Get rid of them now!
That it's worth trying.
I was offended that no one made fun of the stock images. I'm making fun of the stock images. You need to get some CSGO gameplay here instead, okay? That'll be way better. Is this Destiny's secret channel? He sounds a little bit like Destiny, I hear that.
To deplatform someone. Again,
Poop Max is the real answer. Poop Max is the real answer. Everyone needs to Poop Max. Noah Samson spotted. Time to tell black women that I'm their white savior. Listen, if you're a black woman in my audience, I am your savior. I will save you. DM me right away. As long as you look like Zoe Kravitz.
Is this the first time another YouTuber has reacted to her channel? Because I would never think to get someone deplatformed because I didn't like a reaction they had to a video of mine. Did I cry to YouTube when Hassan made his videos on me? No. Did I cry to YouTube when Noah did? No. Did I whine about Nick is not green or Ethan is online reacting to me? Nope. How about Vosh? Well, Vosh's reactions aged hilariously after he accidentally exposed what was on his computer, but that's beside the point. Never have I tried to deplatform someone over negative commentary, and these people...
Vosh responds and confirms his leak folder contains lollipop. We're calling it lollipop now. I'm cool with that. Lollipop. It has lollipop.
Will have all said way worse stuff to me than
John
any of the
shit
stuff...
is calling. I need to pick up the answer from Derek Poop right now. I'm guessing some people got poop maxing for some weirdo in a diaper and leaving it there. That weirdo would be me, and I'm normal and cool, and it was base when I did it, okay? It's good, like, you guys know when you get that last rep in, you're like, ugh, and your bladder just gives out, and you all over the gym room floor and get it all over the bench, and just, like, diarrhea spray everywhere. That's what we're doing today.
That I said about Illymation. A lot of reactions to my channel have been straight up slander too. I mean, Alyssa, you do understand that this post here calling me a right-wing extremist who led a targeted harassment campaign against you is technically libel, right? On top of that, I would like to note that I've made many videos criticizing other people, and Alyssa is the only person to ever try to deplatform me because she can't handle any criticism. How are all these other people so brave? Aren't you like 26? You are well into adulthood and a lot closer to 30 than you are to 20. Yet you behave like an elementary school child tattletaling to the teacher because some other kid criticized you for being a bad sport during kickball. Considering that in this post you stated that your market is children, do you really think this is being a good role model? Telling people to stick their head in the sand, not listen to feedback, and use dirty tactics against anyone who criticizes them? By trying to deplatform a smaller creator, all you've done is make yourself look bad and legitimize the claims that your opponent made against you. So here's a little advice from someone who is not qualified like Jordan Peterson or Ben Shapiro. If you want this to go away, then stop trying to get my video and my channel taken down, and most importantly, ignore everything. Instead of burning your energy on a bunch of random people on the internet that you don't know that have no effect on your personal life, enjoy your vacation in Japan. As someone who has been studying Japanese for years...
She's literally in Japan and malding about the fact some guy made a video about her fat acceptance. Oof. Loser, dude. Jesus, that sucks.
He sounds like he has a crush on her.
I think you should take think before you sleep's advice. I think you should think about puppies and cats before you sleep instead of thinking about his negative video about you.
You would never see me ruin a trip to Japan over some stupid creator drama. Why are you even on your phone? You should be out doing stuff. It's been over a decade since I've been there, and no stupid woke leftist reaction video is going to ruin that vacation. In fact, Noah Sampson made this video on me right before I went on vacation for a week last summer, and I paid no attention to it until I got back. You would do well to try that. And contrary to what you said in this video here, ignoring people does make things go away. Does anyone remember that Mr. Free Speech Tim Pool sided with two people named Eliza Blue and Jack Murphy who were both in favor of deplatforming? Nope. Do people remember that Tim Pool had one of his reporters write multiple hit pieces on Eliza's top critics while Eliza was busy using her connections to get
Nope,
those
I don't think
banned on
anybody
Twitter
does
and their
remember
videos removed
this.
from YouTube?
Nope.
I don't think.
Is that true? Did Tim Pool actually do that? That's interesting. I feel like people shouldn't forget that, but if that's true, that's a very interesting allegation. She can take her friend's summary of my advice. Yeah, true. Well, her friend's summary of your advice will be, he's racist, transphobic, homophobic, sexist. He's a paid Zionist, and he's also being mean to Illymation. Therefore, we need to report him for talking about the targeted harassment. Also, the Tumblr was private information. Okay, that was private information that was leaked by Think Before You Sleep, which clearly should be deplatformed down here. So everybody, just make sure you report his videos right now.
Think so. Well, I mean, I remember that, but pretty much nobody remembers it because Tim Pool kept his mouth shut. Was it moral for him to do that? No, but it worked, and things went back to normal a few weeks after the drama was over. Alyssa, if you don't like negative comments, all you had to do was mute them for a couple days, probably not even a week, and everyone would have forgotten about it. So if you really want this to just be over, that would be my advice. And Google the Streisand effect. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
I mean, pretty good video, but I think Before You Sleep, I think Illymation needs to chill the freak out. I think she needs to stop spurging out online. I mean, it's just not that big of a deal. You know, people criticize you. It's part of being a YouTuber. If you don't want to take their advice seriously, then just don't interact. You know, and ultimately, like threatening to report someone, typically, unless they're being really crazy, it will just make the story bigger, make people talk about it more. Like what happened here, where I think Before You Sleep was able to make a second half-hour video to make a bunch of money off of your stupid content. And so, yeah, I would say you should probably just stop that. I mean, he was literally able to make a second video that got even more views than the last one about you, so that didn't really work out in your favor, did it? Think before you poop? True. Or maybe think while you poop. My most genius thoughts have come on the toilet while I've been faxing. Actually, while I've been filling up the diaper, they've been really good. All right, that about covers this situation, I think. Technically, she got me a lot of views off of telling her audience to not watch me. She did. She got you an extra 700,000 views. Thank you, Illymation, for making Think Before You Sleep even more goated with the sauce. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members-only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support.
It's a sad state of
Thank you, Tom Dark, for the excellent content for my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
Woke YouTubers trying to deplatform?
Thank you, Lex Friedman, for the excellent content for my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
It's a
This
sad
is called
state of affairs.
Tulsi Gabbard, War, Politics, and the Military-Industrial Complex.
When some of the most influential voices in our country will label someone a lover or supporter of dictators simply because you're saying, hey, we shouldn't be going to war. There is another way.
The following is a conversation with Tulsi Gabbard, who was a longtime Democrat, including being the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. She endorsed Bernie in 2016 and Biden in 2020. She has been both loved and heavily criticized for her independent thinking and bold political stances, especially on topics of war and the military-industrial complex. She served in the U.S. military for many years, achieving the rank of lieutenant colonel. And now she is the author of a new book called For Love of Country. This is the Lex Friedman podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. And now, dear friends, here's Tulsi Gabbard. You've served in the U.S. military for many years, achieving rank of lieutenant colonel. You were deployed in Iraq in 2004 and 5, Kuwait in 2008 and 9. What lessons about life and about country have you learned from that experience of war?
So many. Central to those lessons learned was having my eyes open to the very real cost of war. You know, of course, I served in a medical unit during that first deployment to Iraq. It was 2005 during the height of that war, and unfortunately, we took a lot of casualties. We, across the entire U.S. military, my brigade that I deployed with was from the Hawaii National Guard. We had approximately 3,000 soldiers who were operating in 4 different areas of Iraq. And my first task every day was to go through a list of every injury, combat-related injury that had occurred the day before in the country. And I went through that list name by name, looking to see if any one of our nearly 3,000 soldiers from Hawaii had been hurt in the line of duty. And then if seeing them on the list, tracking them down, where were they? Were they getting the care they needed? Would they be able to get sufficient care to stay in country and return to duty? Did I need to get them evacuated? Usually it would be to military hospitals that at that time were in Landstuhl and Ramstein in Germany. And then from there, getting them to either Brooke Army Medical Center, which is here in Texas, that specialized in burn-related injuries, or to Walter Reed, and tracking them and their care until they were finally home with their families. And it never became a routine task. It never became like, okay, cool, check the list, you know, kind of dot the I's, cross the T's. It was that daily confrontation with the reality of the cost of war. Friends of mine were killed in combat. Experiencing firsthand that high human cost of war caused me, 20-something-year-old from Hawaii, I'd left my seat in the state legislature to volunteer to deploy with my brothers and sisters in my unit to Iraq. And so recognize the cost of war, I think, in 2 fundamental ways. Number 1 is the high human cost of war on our troops and on the people in the country where this war was being waged, and also the cost on American taxpayers. Seeing then back, again, 2005, and recognizing KBR Halliburton, one of the biggest defense contracting companies then, and I know that they are still very much in that business now. Dick Cheney being connected with that company at one point or another. But in our camp specifically, which was one of the larger ones in Iraq at that time, there wasn't anything that happened in our camp that didn't have the KBR Halliburton logo imprinted on it. We had a big shack-looking place where we ate our meals. They call it a dining facility, a DFAC in the military. And they served 4 meals a day. They brought in, and they being KBR Halliburton, they imported workers in from places like Nepal and Sri Lanka and the Philippines to come in and cook food and work at this dining facility. I got curious about how much it cost us as taxpayers. And so I started asking around some of the people, and I think at that time it was like, well, every time a soldier or a service member walks through the door, if I were to go in for breakfast and grab a banana and walk out, that's an automatic $35 per head, per meal, 4 times a day, thousands and thousands of people. And then we made friends. You know, there's a pretty large Filipino community in Hawaii, a lot of Filipino soldiers from Hawaii. We made friends with the Filipino workers who were there. They would often go in like the back of the tents and set up their own like rice cookers and cook their own meals, which is where the real good food was. But just started talking to them and getting to know them and asked like, hey, how much do you get paid? And on average, it was like, oh, I get paid like $500 a month. $500 a month to go and do this work of either, you know, cleaning out porta potties, picking up trash, the dining facility, doing laundry, all of these different tasks, because the military wanted soldiers to be out doing things that only soldiers could do. Understandable. But when I started putting, you know, 2 and 2 together and knowing that this company, one company alone, was making trillions of dollars, and yet this Filipino mom is making $500 a month, maybe getting 1 day off a week, maybe working 12 hours a day otherwise. I said, how often are you able to go home to your family? Well, they'll let us go home a couple of weeks every other year. It was an eye-opening experience that growing up in Hawaii, I frankly hadn't given much thought to before. But it's what led me ultimately coming back from that first deployment. There was no way that I could go back to the life that I had left behind. And I knew somehow, some way, I needed to find a way to use those experiences to try to make a positive impact, to try to influence those, I mean, frankly, the politicians who were making decisions to go and launch these regime change wars and send our men and women in uniform into war, and to what end, ultimately.
If we can just go back to that list.
Yeah.
So the list is just name and injury. Name and injury.
Name, unit, potentially location, if someone had documented that, and their injury.
And it's just pages and pages of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I knew, you know, I didn't get to call home every day, but when I called home and talked to my parents, I felt the tension in their voice. And, you know, they didn't want me to worry about anything at home. And so they were always like, hey, how are you? What can we send you? And this and that. But, you know, it wasn't like...
Okay, guys, I have reached my 14-hour period here, and I am done. This is as long as I care to go. Today is 10:30 in the morning, and I wish to stop. It's been 14 hours, and I really appreciate you spending all night with me and all this stuff, and I want to say thank you. I am skycat.live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cast space to donate. This is the MMO lifestyle. And I am finished recording this session, which was 14 hours long. This session will be placed on my YouTube over the next 8 hours or so while I sleep. And if you wish to see this again, you can. It's going to be on my channel soon. And it'll be dated and all that stuff. And thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you, everybody, for all the subs and follows and everything. And I love you. Thank you for the support. Y'all have a good day. I'll catch you tonight. We'll play some more New World and some more new some Horizon and some EvE and some FFXI and all that stuff. And thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care. We're going to go for a walk and then go to bed. Y'all have a good day. Love you. Bye.
you.